أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.
Fusus al-Iman is a concise format of explanations related to Sahih Iman based on Tafsir Asadi and Irshad al-Asadi. This book series is named Fusus al-Iman, Bezels of Faith, with the intention that it may be used by the people as an anchor of Sahih Iman when sailing in the oceans of knowledge of Quran and Ahadith. For the students of Quran and Ahadith, Fusus al-Iman can act as a primer that will help them solidify their Iman and prepare them for facing the onslaught of deviant sects who misinterpret the Quranic verses and Ahadith to lead them away from Islam. Since Sahih Iman is the essential requirement of salvation in hereafter, it is important to have correct understanding of all issues related to Sahih Iman to become eligible for salvation. This book contains selected verses from the surah. The explanations of these verses will, insha'Allah, benefit all Muslims of the world in protecting their Iman.
قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب أنا آتيك به قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك فلما رآه مستقرا عنده قال هذا من فضل ربي ليبلوني أأشكر أم أكفر ومن شكر فإنما يشكر لنفسه ومن كفر فإن ربي غني كريم.
Translation. But the one who had knowledge of the book said, I can bring it to you in the blink of an eye. So when Sulaiman a.s. saw it placed before him, he exclaimed, This is by the grace of my Lord to test me whether I am grateful or ungrateful. And whoever is grateful, it is only for their own good. But whoever is ungrateful, surely my Lord is self-sufficient, most generous. Explanation. In the above verse, there is a mention of a marvel by a Wali Allah. It is reported on the authority of Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu and Muhammad ibn Isa from Yazid bin Ruman that the name of that person, Wali Allah, who brought the throne of Queen Bilqis alayhi salam in a blinking of an eye was Asif bin Barkia alayhi salam. Quran testifies that he had the knowledge of the book, Zabur. What is the meaning of the knowledge of the book? It means that he was a learned Wali Allah during the reign of Sulaiman alayhi salam. The unusual happenings related to Awliya Allah are known as marvels, karamat. The usual happenings related to the prophets are known as miracles, mu'jizat. Quran testifies to the marvels related to Awliya Allah, like Maryam alayhi salam used to get food and fresh fruits when she was in seclusion, like Asif bin Barqiya brought the throne of Queen Bilqis alayhi salam from Yemen to Jerusalem in a blinking of an eye. Similarly, Khizr alayhi salam, who was the follower of the Sharia of Musa alayhi salam, was awarded with special knowledge. There are differences of opinions among scholars about Khizr alayhi salam. Some people consider him to be a prophet and others consider him to be a Wali Allah. Allah and His Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam know best. Whatever may be the case, he was a chosen servant of Allah on whom Allah had bestowed special knowledge. Quran also mentions Luqman alayhi salam, who was provided with wisdom. Similarly, Allah has informed us about Ashab-e-Kahf alayhi salam. It is in Hadith. It is narrated on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who said, I have memorized two kinds of knowledge from Allah's Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I have propagated one of them to you, and if I propagated the second, then my throat would be cut by the people. Bukhari, Book 1. Awliya Allah are chosen people. They inherit their knowledge, stations and states from prophets. It is in Quran, "Behold the friends of Allah, on them shall come no fear, nor shall they grieve. These are they who have believed in Allah and are mindful of close to Him, and have consequently abstained from everything evil. To them tidings come from Allah of a happy life both in this world and in hereafter. The word of Allah is never revoked. This in itself is a great felicity." Yunus 62-64. Deviant sects like Kharijis, Salafis, Wahhabis, Deobandis and their like-minded groups do not believe in the marvels of awliya Allah. They consider the pious graves of awliya Allah as places of polytheism. They treat them as idols. The Muslims who visit their graves for barakah are called by these sects as grave worshippers. They do not realize that it is the practice of Prophet ﷺ and Sahaba who used to visit the graves of Muslims frequently on regular intervals. There are many ahadith in this context in almost all authentic ahadith books. By doing blasphemy of awliya Allah, followers of these sects surely invite the wrath of Allah. It is in hadith, "Whoever takes a wali of mine, an enemy, I will wage war on him, and my slave will not perform any act with which he draws closer to me, more beloved to me than when he fulfills what I have ordained on him. And my slave will keep drawing closer to me by performing the nawafil, voluntary acts of worship, until I love him. And when I love him, I will be his hearing with which he hears, his sight with which he sees, his hands with which he strikes, and his legs with which he walks. And if he asks me, I will give him, and if he seeks refuge with me, I will grant him refuge." Bukhari. The emphasis on wali of mine in the above hadith shows that this human being is the chosen one.
أَمَّنْ جَعَلَ الْأَرْضَ قَرَارًا وَجَعَلَ خِلَالَهَا أَنْهَارًا وَجَعَلَ لَهَا رَوَاسِيَ وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَ الْبَحْرَيْنِ حَاجِزًا أَإِلَٰهٌ مَّعَ اللَّهِ بَلْ أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ.
Translation: Who made the earth a place of settlement, caused rivers to flow through it, placed firm mountains upon it, and set a barrier between fresh and salt bodies of water? Was it another God besides Allah? Absolutely not. But most of them do not know. Explanation: Water is the manifestation of Allah's effulgence of life on planet Earth. 70% of planet Earth consists of ocean's salt water that provides sustenance to sea life. Oceans are also used for movement of goods and passengers by human beings. There are many other uses of seas as it is a big source of food for human beings. In the hard part of the earth, Allah has provided resources of sweetwater lakes and rivers to support the livelihood of human beings. Rain is an important source of sweet water for human beings that comes from clouds. Thus, there are barriers between sweet and salt water resources that cannot be broken. In addition, there are instances of sweet water springs within the salt water seas. All these are signs of the omnipotence and creation of Allah.
إنك لا تسمع الموتى ولا تسمع الصم الدعاء إذا ولوا مدبرين.
Translation: You cannot make the dead hear. You cannot make the deaf listen to your call when they turn their backs and leave. Explanation: The deviant sects, Khawarij, Salafis, Deobandis and their like-minded groups impose the above verse on Muslims, particularly awliya Allah who are dead, and claim that visiting their graves for barakah is shirk. Those who visit the graves of awliya Allah, they call them grave worshippers. Using the Quranic verses meant for pagans, mushrikeen Makkah, on Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, Sahaba and awliya Allah was started by Munafiqun during the time of Khulafai Rashidun. Later, it was continued by Kharijis, Salafis, Deobandis and their like-minded sects. It is in Hadith, Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu considered the Khawarij and the heretics as the worst beings in creation, meaning worse than Satan and his subordinate devils. And he said, they went to verses which were revealed about the disbelievers, the pagans of Makkah, and applied them to the believers, prophets, Sahaba, Awliya Allah, and Muslims. Bukhari, chapter Khawarijin. To understand the above verse in its correct perspective, read the verse which is mentioned immediately after this verse, verse number 81. We have quoted below both these verses together for our readers to understand factual meanings in this regard. It is in Quran. You cannot make the dead hear. You cannot make the deaf listen to your call when they turn their backs and leave. And you cannot guide the blind away from their error. You cannot make anyone hear you except those who believe in our signs and submit to us. An-Naml 80-81. When we read both the verses together, it is clear that word dead is used to mean the disbelievers and not those who are actually dead. In verse 80, it is mentioned that when you call them, they turn their backs and leave, meaning these verses are meant for the living Makkan pagans. Similarly, in verse 81, it is mentioned that you cannot make none to hear except those who believe in our revelations, which makes it abundantly clear that these verses are definitely meant for Makkan pagans who are unwilling to accept the truth of Islam.
وَإِذَا وَقَعَ الْقَوْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ أَخْرَجْنَا لَهُمْ دَابَّةً مِّنَ الْأَرْضِ تكلمهم أن الناس كانوا بآياتنا لا يوقنون.
Translation. And when the decree of the hour comes to pass against them, we will bring forth for them a dabba from the earth, telling them that the people had no true faith in our signs. Explanation. Dabba means anything that walks on planet earth. This includes animals as well as human beings. It is in Quran, and there is none that walks upon the earth whose sustenance does not depend on Allah. He knows where it shall stay and where it shall be deposited. Everything is in the manifest book. Hud 6. In the above hadith, it is mentioned that Dabba will appear in the end time from the earth. Allah and His Apostle Muhammad know best what is Dabba and how it will communicate with people. First, it is in hadith. It is narrated on the authority of Abdullah bin Umar that he said, I memorized a hadith from the Apostle of Allah which I have not forgotten. I heard the Apostle of Allah say, the first of the signs that will come before Qiyamah is the rising of the sun from the place of its setting, west, and the emergence of the Dabba, two people in later portion of the morning. Whichever of these two occur before the other, then the other is right behind it. Muslim. It is in hadith. Hudayfa bin Usaidi al-Ghifari reported that Allah's Apostle came to us all of a sudden as we were talking. He asked, what are you people discussing? We said, we are talking about the last hour. It will not come until you see 10 signs. Then he mentioned, first, smoke. Second, the Dajjal. Third, the Dabba. Fourth, the rising of the sun from the west. Fifth, the descent of Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam. Sixth, the emergence of Yajuj and Majuj. Seventh, landslides on 3 different places. One in the east. Eighth, one in the west. And ninth, one in Arabian Peninsula, at the end of which, 10th, a fire would burn forth from Yemen or from Aden according to Ahmad, which would drive people to the place of their final assembly. Muslim Ahmad. It is in hadith. It is reported on the authority of Abu Hurairah that he said, the Prophet said, hasten to do good deeds before 6 things happen. First, the rising of the sun from the west. Second, the smoke. Third, the Dajjal. Fourth, the Dabba. Fifth, the death of one of you. Sixth, general tribulation. Muslim.
وأوحينا إلى أم موسى أن أرضعيه فإذا خفت عليه فألقيه في اليم ولا تخافي ولا تحزني إنا رادوه إليك وجاعلوه من المرسلين.
Translation: And we inspired the mother of Musa alayhi salam, saying, Suckle him, Musa alayhi salam. But when you fear for his life, then cast him into the river in a wooden box, and fear not, nor grieve. Verily, we shall bring him back to you, and shall make him one of our apostles. Explanation: Brief history. Musa alayhi salam belonged to the Israeli community who were enslaved by Pharaoh of Egypt and kept in appalling conditions. Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrated that once Pharaoh saw in his dream a fire came from Jerusalem and burned the houses of the Egyptians, but did not harm to the children of Israel. He consulted his priests for its interpretation, who explained that a boy will be born among the children of Israel, and the Egyptians will perish at his hands. Pharaoh got panicked on this interpretation and ordered slaughter of all male children of Israelis. Even the newborn were hunted and killed. Killing of newborn male children of Israelis was carried out for some years. Then his aides warned him that this kind of slaughter was not in his economic interest, as slaves will vanish and there will be no one to work in their fields. In view of this, Pharaoh ordered to kill Israelis, newborn male child, 1 year, and let them live the following year. Musa alayhi salam's mother was pregnant with Harun alayhi salam in a year that boys were to be spared. Thus, she gave birth to the child publicly and safely. During a year in which boys were to be slain, she gave birth to Musa alayhi salam. She was terrified that he would be killed. The above verse described that Allah inspired the mother of Musa alayhi salam, saying, Suckle him, and then when you fear for his safety, put him in a wooden box in the river, and she need not be afraid, as he will be returned to her of suckling, and that he will be made an apostle.
إنك لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء وهو أعلم بالمهتدين.
Translation: You surely cannot guide whoever you like, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it is Allah who guides whoever He wills, and He knows best who are fit to be guided. Explanation: Allah has created all the things in this cosmos with His prior knowledge. He knew about all His creatures and their attributes before their creation. Therefore, among human beings, Allah knows who is capable of accepting the faith and who is devoid of it. This aspect has been explained in the above verse. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is mercy on all the worlds. His message is for all, but to accept or reject the message depends upon the individual human nature. It is in Quran, and certainly we have created for hell many of the jinn and the men. They have hearts with which they do not understand, and they have eyes with which they do not see, and they have ears with which they do not hear. They are a cattle, nay, they are in worse errors. These are the heedless ones. Al-Araf 179. How can we follow the right path? Allah has provided humans with mind, heart, and senses, and they are required to use them in finding facts in this cosmos. As an additional help, He sent His prophets and apostles to teach humanity about the truth of this cosmos. Now, it is up to the individual to make good use of his faculties and find the right path. If you get attracted to the spurious, then Allah's light of guidance, which is inherently kept in human hearts, goes away. Once the darkness occupies the heart, the progeny of Satan and his devil followers get associated with it and lead to further darkness of evil. They associate their evil powers with your hand-made gods and show some jugglery. As you watch this evil show, you start believing idols are associated with divinity, and their hearts get hardened in darkness and are sealed in ignorance. If you reach this stage, there is very little hope that you will ever come back to the right path. This aspect has been described in Quran as follows. It is in Quran, if Allah renders one's heart content with submission, he will be following a light from his Lord. Therefore, woe to those whose hearts are hardened against Allah's message. They have gone far astray. Az-Zumar 22. The role of senses is important in shaping the true meanings, faith in your heart. If these meanings are opposed to fact of the matter, this is not true faith. It is a biased faith. It is a wrong faith. Many deviant sects like Muslims are suffering from the biased faith. Faith is the primary factor as far as salvation is concerned. If you do not have truthful faith, you have lost both the worlds. All your Islamic deeds will be of no use in hereafter if you profess a biased faith. The people who are struck with biased faith never try to see logic. For them, the facts are not important. It is their conviction and dependence on their wrongful deviant scholars that matters. The following Quranic verses explain that the punishment for rejection of faith, kufr, and punishment for not trying to understand true faith or having biased faith and following deviancy is the same. It is in Quran. So Allah places degradation, subjects them to torment on those who do not believe. Al-An'am 125. It is in Quran, and He places degradation on those, subjects them to torment who have no understanding about true faith. Yunus 100. It is in Quran, the one who is blind about Sahih Iman in this world will be blind in hereafter. Al-Isra 72.
فخسفنا به وبداره الأرض فما كان له من فئة ينصرونه من دون الله وما كان من المنتصرين.
Translation. And we caused the earth to swallow him and his house. There was no one to help him against Allah, nor could he help himself. Explanation. Qarun was from the children of Israel during Prophet Musa a.s. time. Allah describes that he was very rich and proud person. He was punished for his wrongdoings as earth swallowed him. It is reported that there was a big explosion and a loud noise, and when people went out of their houses, they realized that the palace of Qarun, along with his wealth, was swallowed by earth and there was no trace of him. It is in Hadith. It is reported by Salim, who said that his father told him that the Apostle of Allah ﷺ said, while a man was dragging his lower garment in pride, he was swallowed up and he will remain sinking down into the earth until the day of resurrection. Bukhari.
صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم.